Thank you, Conrad. And you know, you may have heard about a recent recall on applesauce pouches due to some high levels of lead recently. I know we talked about it here on the station, but we're here to talk more about the importance of monitoring your lead levels in your bodies with Nurse Christina Paris of the VA. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Hi, glad to be here.
Yes, happy to have you. Jackie could not be it, but we got our little Christmas gnomes around.
I love it.
So let's tell us, what is lead poisoning and why is it important?
So what made me think of this topic was Christmas coming and all the toys. And there are some toys that are made overseas that can contain lead. And so it made me think, well, lead poisoning, you know, and then with the applesauce recently.
The applesauce pouches.
And while I don't have the actual names, I'm sorry I didn't bring them with me, but you can look on the CDC website if you're concerned that your child may have consumed those pouches, and then talk to your pediatrician about getting tested. But the reason that we are concerned about lead testing is because it can have a lot of physiological and developmental delays on children if they have higher levels. Sometimes lead poisoning, when it gets into our body, especially with children, it can cause anemia, and that's where the oxygen carrying capacity of our body is kind of minimized, and so that can cause a lot of problems. And then the absorption can also interfere with the absorption of calcium in our body, which, you know, we need for good bones.
Absolutely, you always got to be, you know, growing the bones as you're a kid.
Right, right, absolutely. And so some of the places that you're going to see it, people who work on cars, who work with radiators, those have levels. Gas, although we don't see lead fuel anymore, not as much. Crystal, metal welders, people who work with ceramic glazes. And we mostly see it in paint. So if you have a house that was built before 1978, and I know there's a lot of them here in Rhinelander. If it hasn't been updated, or you see paint chipping off of the walls or the window sills, a lot of times is where they see it. And that paint can turn into dust. So if the children touch the dust on the window sills and then touch their mouth, or that dust gets into the soil, like on the outside of the house, and then kids are playing in the yard, that is a lot of times where they get the lead poisoning from, or the chips of paint, you know, if they just even
So there's a lot of ways it could work its way into your body, is what you're saying.
It can, yes, but those are the real big ones that we see.
Well, all right, so what are some of the symptoms that we should watch out for if, you know, we think we may have come into contact with
Right, absolutely. Sadly, if you have symptoms, that means your levels are really high. So if you live in a facility or a place that you're concerned about, you want to talk to your provider. But you're going to see developmental delays, learning difficulties. They might be kind of irritable, loss of appetite, weight loss. They might just seem really sluggish or fatigued, have abdominal pain, vomiting, constipation. Hearing loss is another big one with high lead levels. They could have seizures. And so they can also develop what we call pica. So that's eating like really strange things like toilet paper, or I know, pica. We should have a whole topic of pica, which I think I talked about.
I've never been in the bathroom and thought, man, this roll of toilet paper, that sure sounds like a good snack today.
They just eat really weird, unusual things. And then in adults, you might see high blood pressure, joint pain, difficulty with memory or concentration, headaches, abdominal pain, mood disorders, reduced sperm counts or abnormal sperm counts, miscarriages, stillbirths, and premature births. And that's actually how they developed, or they discovered that lead was a problem. They were seeing way back, they were seeing a lot of miscarriages.
So it's been a known issue for a long time.
Right, since Greeks in 2 BC.
So, my goodness, and then they, of course, you know, with the Romans and their aqueducts.
Right,
Oh, goodness gracious.
So are there any ways that we can help
keep our families and our homes free of lead moving forward? You talked about pre-1978, the housing and the paints.
Right.
But what can we do today?
So absolutely. So if you are concerned, use a lot of caution. If you're concerned about antique toys, you know, are your kids playing with those? Do they might have high lead levels?
That is a good thing. You are given a lot of these toys around this time.
Right,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
if you get cosmetics or supplements from other countries that aren't through the FDA, those could contain lead as well. And then again, if you live in a home that was built before 1978 and it could contain lead, you're worried about the paint, what you want to do is, one, talk to your pediatrician. You can get tested, your child can get tested. If you as an adult work in an industry where you're concerned about lead levels, you can talk to your provider about that as well and get tested. It's an easy blood test. Also talk to the Wisconsin Public Health Department. So the Public Health Department of Wisconsin can help you with lead testing. They will come to your house or provide you with kits where you can test your house to see if lead is present.
Well, that is fantastic. So lots of ways that you can be proactive and get the answers that you're looking for.
Absolutely. If you're not sure where to go, you can look on the CDC website or talk to your pediatrician.
Well, fantastic. Thanks for coming in this morning and telling us all about this lead.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody stay safe.
Absolutely. And coming up, we have what's trending, including